You know that feeling when things aren't quite the same anymore, when he's there, but then he isn't really there? This emotional withdrawal can creep in slowly, but the signs are always there if you know where to look and what to look for. So today I want to dive deeper into the signs of someone who emotionally checked out. So the first one is he doesn't care anymore. And I know this sounds so obvious, but this is one of the most obvious ones, but also one of the hardest to admit. When someone's emotionally checked out, they stop investing in the relationship as much. And you feel the distance, like an emotional coldness between the two of you. Maybe he used to ask how your day was, plan a little surprise, or shows interest in, solving problems with you together. And now there's just nothing or so much less than what it was before. It's like he stopped trying altogether. If he's no longer making an effort to create shared experiences or resolve conflicts, that's a major red flag. And a relationship can't really thrive if only one person is fully invested and puts in the effort. So the second one, he's not interested in your emotional states anymore. In a healthy relationship, your partner cares about how you're feeling. So they check in, they offer support, and they want to know when something is on your mind. But when he's checked out, all of this just stops. Maybe you're going through something tough and he doesn't even notice. Or worse, he doesn't seem to care. You share your feelings and it's met with indifference or, he's changing the subject very quickly. It's like your emotions no longer matter to him. When someone disengages from your emotional well-being, that's a clear sign he's no longer invested in the relationship and he's no longer invested in you. Hi, did you know there's an ancient formula that can show you exactly what you need to do in order to experience the life and the love of your dreams? I'm going to share a little secret with you because I teach this formula to all of my private clients, and the results that they have achieved just from these insights alone is absolutely incredible. And I call it the love alignment equation. And for a very short time, I'm inviting you to participate in a free 50-minute love alignment call with me or a member of my heart to heart team. All you have to do is click the link in the description, and if there's a booking link with available times, then you still have a chance to reserve your spot. So act fast before I decide to close this offer again. The third point, he tends to spend significant more time with others. Now, if he's suddenly prioritizing everyone else but you want to take mental notes of this. Emotional withdrawal often shows up in a shift in how he spends time with you. Maybe he's always been out with friends, staying late at work, or he's glued to his phone instead of engaging with you. He's avoiding quality time altogether and finding distractions somewhere else. This isn't just about being busy. It's about choosing to focus his energy away from the relationship. So when someone emotionally checks out, their time and their intention, it follows. It's going to be checked out very soon, very quickly as well. The fourth point is he avoids physical affection. Physical intimacy and emotional connection, they're so closely linked to each other. When one fades, the other one often isn't far behind. Maybe he's no longer cuddling, holding hands, or, giving you a kiss before you go to bed or in the morning. Physical affection that used to feel natural now kind of feels forced or maybe even non-existent. And this kind of withdrawal can feel especially painful because it's such a tangible reminder of that emotional distance that it's growing between the two of you. So if he's pulling away physically, it's often a sign of, deeper emotional detachment. The fifth point, he's not planning for a future with you. Planning for the future is one of the most exciting parts of a relationship, right? Sure, you want to be present in the moment, but yet also you want to build something for the future. It shows that you're building really something magical, beautiful, and there's this desire to do so. But when he stops including you in those plans, it's a huge sign. Maybe he used to talk about vacations, events, or even longer term goals with you. Now those conversations are gone. He might avoid making commitments or sidesteps discussions about where the relationship is heading. So if he's no longer thinking ahead with you in mind, it's a sign that he may not see a future with you together anymore. And that's something you just can't ignore. You shouldn't ignore. You might be able to ignore it, but you shouldn't. The sixth point, he stops making you feel special. Remember those small little things he used to do to make you feel loved? Maybe it's the coffee in the morning, maybe it's this flower unexpectedly, leaving sweet notes, planning thoughtful dates, or just making you laugh when you're feeling down. If those efforts are disappearing or they completely disappeared already, that's a sign he's definitely no longer emotionally really invested. He checked out, or a checked out partner stops putting in the work to nurture the relationship. It's like he's taking you for granted. And these small little gestures that once made you feel valued and appreciated and seen, so this lack of effort can really leave you feel very unappreciated and alone in the relationship. So don't ignore those. And the seventh point that I want to make is he's avoiding important conversations. When someone is emotionally invested, they're willing to have these tough conversations. They're willing to go wherever we need to go in order to bring the most harmony into this as possible. Whether it's about the future, resolving conflicts, or addressing issues, they engage because they care. But a partner who's checked out, he avoids these talks like it's a disease. Maybe he brushes off serious conversation with, let's talk about this later, and then it never happens. And he completely shuts down when you actually try to address something important, like an important topic for you. Avoidance isn't just frustrating, it's a sign he's not committed to working on the relationship anymore. And when he stops engaging in meaningful conversations, that's definitely very obvious. This emotional withdrawal is happening here and it's fading. So yeah, those are my 7 points if someone checks out of the relationship. I think they're pretty straightforward, but also sometimes we just need to be reminded of it and we need to be willing to assess what's really happening in my dynamic with him in this moment, right? It's important to acknowledge this and then reflect on what you need and deserve in a partnership. Remember, relationships are all about mutual effort, care, and connection. If he's no longer bringing those things to the table, it might be time to have an honest conversations. Don't allow him to brush it off, and then see what's really happening here, and then consider moving on if that seems to be the best way moving forward for you to feel valued and appreciated, and you valuing and appreciating yourself. Because I always say this, if you don't value and appreciate yourself, if you don't set boundaries and respect your own boundaries yourself, how can you expect any of these things from someone else, right? People are going to meet you where you want to be met. So if he's avoidant with you and you allow this to be okay, and you're not really taking steps in order to make sure things are in alignment with the principles and the ideas and the values that you want to have established in your romantic relationship, then how can you expect that from someone else if you don't even do it yourself? Just a few thoughts.